Uh, now we're back. Oh, Lord.
Crash will be here in a minute.
I don't know. Actually, that's not why we are not.
But Charlotte is throwing stuff all over the floor. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, I was going to say all over the place.
Okay, but yeah, that's true. But no, actually, I did a whole hour rant video, so I was throwing myself off. This would have been
Well,
done.
what does that have to do with anything?
No, no, no. Instead of doing the TS, I did the rant video, and it was an hour. So I would have did it first, or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
At this moment, I have nothing to do with that.
Um, um,
But I was just
let me
talking
see.
about your opening.
Oh, but see, can you edit cheated? This episode 18, we did 17 yesterday.
How you do that?
Hmm? Oh, at the end, when you get ready to post it.
Alrighty then.
Just gonna. Fuck!
Because you were going to say your favorite Monday to Friday, Charlotte. And then he was going to say your favorite Friday to Monday, Crash the Bandicoot. And then Charlotte was going to say, yes, man, yes. And Crash was going to say, I ain't going to hold you. But I ain't saying that. And then Charlotte says, well, let's get on with the show. No, really, she don't say that. I don't know what the hell she says. But anyway, the show gets started. Crashy handles, getting the...
When he had an iPhone.
Hmm?
When he had an iPhone, he don't got one right now.
What happened? It's out of service. Till tomorrow. Gee. He got it turned on at the end of the month? I imagine so. Well, if it's to get paid on time, well, it can get paid on time, that too. But for it to actually really, you know what I'm saying? Yes, they do. They know what the hell I'm talking about. They know what the hell I'm talking about. Whether you get paid every week, every 2 weeks, or once a month, or whatever. You gonna buy the shit when the check comes. Yep, rich people do that shit too. I mean, even though they can go out and do it, but when the check comes, man. Now, anybody who don't go out, go down to Charlotte's comment section and comment. Oh, she ain't got no comments. You got a comment in your... okay, go down to his comment.
You're on YouTube, so of course I do.
Oh, we are? Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, go to the comments and state your comment. And then you know what you do? You bring more people so he can get more subscribers. So then she can move out of this hellhole and get better equipment so that we can provide you with better films, better clips, better everything. It's just everything. We'll have the brilliant colors, the sharp edges. Oh my, it's so crisp. It's so crisp, I thought it was a potato chip. But anyway, I am just filling in for these people. Because Crash is just walking back and forth. He ain't saying nothing. And you know what? He's supposed to be the other half of this show. Why am I? Why am I doing it? I don't get paid. And you know why I don't get paid? Because they don't get paid. Charlotte don't get paid. So, and then maybe I will get paid. I'm going to have a Help Charlotte Get Paid campaign. And I want everybody to get on there. And everywhere you go, say, please help Charlotte get on paid. Go to Charlotte Preaches and subscribe. We love you, thank you, and good night. Now that's beautiful to help someone. Yes, it's beautiful to help someone. You don't have to be rich to have a lot of money or have money at all to help someone. Sometimes somebody, they just need a shoulder. And that don't cost you nothing. A hug, especially if it's somebody you don't know. But don't be hugging too close. And right now is not the time to be hugging nobody. Because you don't know where they have been. You don't know when they are breathing their breath on you, what they're actually doing. Don't even let them breathe on your clothes. You feel me? Because look, if they breathe on the shoulder of your down the, the arm of your coat, or sweater, or long sleeve shirt, whatever, if they do this, well, not only are you throwing your nose into your elbow, but you're also throwing your nose into a layer of germs. Bam! You're sick. And when this happened, don't come back. Because I told you so. I told you. Well, Crash, you know what, I had a question. Now, I was thinking about when people come out. And now that people know that they feel better about themselves, but does that make them more uncomfortable or less uncomfortable?
I think it depends on the person.
Mm.
Situations that they'd be uncomfortable.
Well, I'm not.
For me, I feel more comfortable because I feel like I don't really have to hide.
Yeah, but what I'm saying also is the fact that you hear of a lot of other, well, start with the gay, the gay bashing and everything like that. So
in the 50s.
What I'm saying is, if when they come out, these are things they have to think about. So that's why I was wondering,
No. Wonder that off camera.
What?
I said, wonder that off camera.
Oh, your people judges hear what he said to me. Do you know what she said to me? The door. And you know what? This one isn't really. I should have set it down. Because it's a low battery and it's plugged in. So obviously it's not the right way. Or
You lied. Why you got it flat?
I didn't have it flat.
No, put it up there.
Oh. That's good.
Is there any more sandwiches, sir? All right. So,
You know what I had more meat yesterday. I got it was gone.
excuse me, yo. No, I ain't doing about that. We ain't put this nigga in. Never give you supply, bitch. But yes, thank you. Okay, so yes. Segueing off of what she said before she went too far. Um, Here is some anti-homosexual PSAs from the 50s. Let's react together. You too, Green Lantern, pay attention.
Yeah, we might need to read something.
You only graduated.
So did you, nigga. College man. Woman.
Investigation.
I'm Lieutenant Williams, a police officer attached to the Juvenile Division. I'm on my way to Monroe Junior High School to talk to a group of young people. That looks innocent enough, doesn't it? Lots of young people hitchhike. Seems like a good way to get from one place to another. But sometimes there are dangers involved that never meet the eye. Let's take the case of Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy played baseball all afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride.
Never do that by yourself.
Yeah, the 50s.
He'd done it 100 times before, and he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation. In fact,
Oh, I
he seemed like
remember
a real nice guy.
video
He
like
asked Jimmy if he played baseball in the
It's
park
like,
often.
you gay,
Jimmy
so
told
you
him they
go
practiced
to
3 times a week and played a rival
Yeah, this
on
shit,
Friday
yeah.
afternoon. The
Molest
stranger was a
children
good
and shit.
listener, too, and it only seemed minutes before they pulled up in front of Jimmy's house.
So, yeah, you gonna get a little thing touched.
When Jimmy got out, the stranger gave him a friendly pat.
See? The friendly pat's homosexual.
Then he told him he'd see him again, as he always drove by the park on his way home.
Auntie, what am I gonna do with two monsters? Mayonnaise. There's a whole jar in the refrigerator.
Sure enough, the following day, when Jimmy finished playing ball, well, the man was there
Man,
waiting.
they disrespect Miracle Whip. Two Miracle Whip. That's the joint. A BLT on toast with mayo. Miracle Whip every time. That's BLT sandwich.
They stopped at a drive-in, and the stranger treated him to a Coke. During their conversation, he told several off-color jokes. But Jimmy had heard others before, and, well, it made him feel big to so easily win the confidence of an older person. The following Saturday, they went fishing. By now, they were using first names. Ralph said it was more friendly.
They ain't butt fucking yet? What the hell? What happened? Hold on. Okay, put this in the microwave, because the bread is all nigga and shit. And, if you run into some Ritas, or some chips, stop and bring those on too. I fucking hate Fritos, bro.
They ought to be because they were like 3-4 bags of ranch Fritos. I had one.
Okay, back to the faggotry. Because isn't that what this video is supposedly about? Yes, mother of it.
Don't, no.
Hold on, it might be stale.
They might add them on top of the tray.
Yeah.
Because it had it on the table.
No, they felt spongy, like they had too much egg in them.
Well, whoever eating them,
Oh,
they probably left them open, then I folded them over because they look like my fold.
Yeah, that probably was your fault.
I was...
Hold on, what are you doing? Are you not just sandwich? This is...
This one says he doesn't close the bag, he closes the box. That makes them stale. They rather the bag closed in the
Well,
box.
I need some kind of chip, potato, fried potato, something.
You got some Fritos, dog.
Ah,
Unless
is
you,
it
they,
chili
unless you
cheese?
want the tortilla
Nah.
chips. They're just plain.
Okay, our bitch is ready. Let's go. Now,
They're like Fritos.
now hold
Damn.
on, we gotta bring this back because I'm confused. Because it's not loud enough.
Well, listen really hard.
Boys beware, old homosexuals. Hold on.
Oh,
Produced with the
Produced?
yep. Produced with the cooperation of the
Oh.
Inglewood Police Department and Inglewood Unified School
On the wood.
District. That's funny. Inglewood is in the projects. The fuck, but not in the 50s though. No niggers over there.
they're just letting anybody in now. Honey, look in the back and find his house. Look.
There's chicken meat. I like chicken meat.
Well, remember we said they were all turkey?
I'm Lieutenant Williams, a police officer attached to the Juvenile Division. I'm on my way to Monroe Junior High School to talk to a group of young people. That looks innocent enough, doesn't it? Lots of young people hitchhike. Seems like a good way to get from one place to another. But sometimes there are dangers involved that never meet the eye. Let's take the case of Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy played baseball all afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride. He'd done it 100 times before, and he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation. In fact, he seemed like a real nice guy. He asked Jimmy if he played baseball in the park often. Jimmy told him they practiced 3 times a week and played a rival group on Friday afternoon. The stranger was a good listener, too, and it only seemed minutes before they pulled up in front of Jimmy's house. When Jimmy got out, the stranger gave him a friendly pat.
No.
Then he told him he'd see him again, as he always drove by the park on his way home.
What did you get yesterday? Never. Huh? I can't hear. They
Sure
can't hear
enough,
what?
the following day, when Jimmy finished playing ball, well, the man was there waiting.
Get in my car.
They stopped at a drive-in, and the stranger treated him to a Coke. During their conversation, he told several off-color jokes. But Jimmy had heard others before, and, well, it made him feel big to so easily win the confidence of an older person.
Damn, commercials was long as fuck in the 50s.
Oh no, it was a piece of PSA.
The following
PSA
Saturday, they
was
went
long as fuck in
fishing.
the 50s.
By now, they were using first names. Ralph said it was more friendly.
Now it's just a
Jimmy hadn't enjoyed himself so much in a long time.
Damn, them kind of things they
Then during lunch,
and enjoyed
Ralph
it.
showed
a
him
long
two
time.
pornographic pictures.
Oh,
Jimmy knew he shouldn't be interested, but, well, he was
Wait a
curious.
minute, what happened to
What
Jimmy?
Jimmy
Who the
didn't
fuck
know was
took
that
Jimmy?
Ralph was
Jimmy
sick.
wanted
A
to
sickness
say,
that was not visible like smallpox, but no less dangerous and
Jimmy
contagious.
ain't the butt tickler.
Sickness of the mind. You
Eat a butt
see,
tickle
Ralph
eat.
was a homosexual, a person who demands an intimate relationship with members of their own sex.
Employee, tickle
But
eat.
by now, Jimmy felt a fondness for Ralph, and they continued to go places together. Ralph was generous and took Jimmy many interesting places and did many nice things for him.
And then one day it came
Bought
time to pay
presents and
Ralph back.
even gave him money.
Right.
Payments were expected in
No,
return.
baby Jesus,
See,
no.
Jimmy hadn't
Come here, they
recognized
got the
Ralph's
big
approach
feedback.
soon enough.
Because
When Ralph
he
first
said,
asked Jimmy to go fishing alone, he should have discussed it with his parents or teachers, please. Ralph was arrested, and Jimmy was released on probation in the custody of his parents. But all homosexuals are not passive. Some resort to violence, as in the case of Mike Merritt. In the heat of competition, no one noticed the man who sat and watched. And when the game broke up,
I know
and the
some
others
guys
left,
are great
Mike
dick
decided
suckers
to
and
stay and
everything.
Oh,
practice a
his
little
booty
longer.
didn't get got. The last one. But this is gonna take him some booty.
Hold on, wait, what?
He's violent.
The stranger
Why? Is
joined
it
him.
because he
He
gay?
was friendly, and, well, it was better than playing alone.
Maybe. You can't pick up everything good.
Huh?
You can't pick up
After a few
everything.
shots, Mike realized he had already overstayed his time and suggested he better leave. The stranger told him if he'd like to stay longer, he'd be glad to drive him home when they finished. Sounded great to Mike. Chance to play longer and get a ride home,
Hey,
too.
what's going on? I can't hear too much.
Mike's about to get a booty ticket.
Wait, but why? This is not
For playing basketball with a stranger.
When they finished, the stranger told him he'd make a fine player someday. The companionship, the praise, the friendly attitude dispelled any misgivings Mike might have had about going with a stranger. He probably never realized until too late that he was riding in the shadow of death.
That he was
Sometime
riding
that
in the
evening,
shadow of death.
Mike Merritt traded his life for a newspaper headline.
Right there.
Look, you get in there. Wait,
What is it?
wait, right here?
Yeah,
That right there?
one in front.
As Denny
Yeah.
and Jerry got the papers ready for Jerry's afternoon delivery, they only casually noticed the two boys that raced by in the afternoon.
You know when you're hooked up to the hospital and they got
Yeah,
that tube on you?
The two boys went by on bicycles. The
And they
boys
got
nodded
that
they
tube
had.
on you?
Did they
and air
recognize it
pumping
if
in
they
your
saw them
lungs, you
again?
taste it?
Well, Denny guessed he
That
could.
takes-
Then hop in, the man
Or
said. Those are
helium.
stolen bikes. Without giving it another thought, Denny got in and the car sped away. Jerry watched. He'd been told many times, if a friend got in a car with a stranger to write down the license number. It didn't seem to apply, but, well,
would assume
fortunately,
you
he marked it down.
Huh?
Can't put them superheroes back down there.
No, it's a different smell than the oxygen I have.
When he delivered a paper to Denny's house, he asked his mother if they caught the boys that had stolen the bicycles. Denny hadn't returned, so he told her the story and gave her the paper with the license number.
Damn, straight snitching is still okay in the 50s?
Being a careful parent, she decided to call the police. Jerry supplied the necessary information, and the stranger's car was quickly spotted. It was a good example of how important it is to always get the license number and description of any stranger who takes a young person off alone, no matter
Wait,
what.
what? Off the lawn?
Off alone.
Oh. Well, that sounded was more dramatic, though, right? Off the lawn? Like, the fuck?
Public restrooms can often be a hangout for the homosexuals.
He can't
Bobby
hear.
and his friends
He just
hadn't
was there.
noticed the man who had been in the restroom when they changed, and as it was late, he suggested they take the shortcut under the pier, but the others preferred to take the more traveled way
Now,
home.
she knows he didn't say that.
He must be here.
When
Oh,
Bobby
damn
recognized
it!
the stranger as the
Damn
man
it
in
to
the
hell!
room, the shortcut under the pier didn't seem like a good idea at all.
Oh, what are you going there with? So like this. Whoa!
Don't sit on my head.
Oh, no.
After all, it's more
Oh,
fun
on
to
the
stay
floor.
with your friends anyway. Bobby had made a wise decision. It may have
Lean
saved
over and
his
make my
life.
bed straight on top of my head.
The decision is always yours, and your whole future may depend on making the right one. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he is mentally ill. So keep with your group, and don't go off alone with strangers unless you have the permission of your parent or teacher.
I'm going to call Adriana Aponte.
And she'll just be a ponte.
Give me your number, your name.
Okay, this one is how you handle marital problems. In the 50s, you beat that bitch with a bat. Yes, Lord. No, no.
It couldn't happen. It wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't
But
happen.
for the
It couldn't
sake of
happen.
illustrating some constructive and destructive ways of handling marital conflict, let's suppose that there's an argument going on at the Adams house, and that there's an identical argument going on at the same time
Just straight,
over at the
goddamn.
King. Let's listen in on both couples for a moment. First, the King.
It's only money. Let's just throw it all away.
It's only a budget. It's not sacred.
Not with you around.
Me? Who does all the scraping and scrounging?
All right, stop it straight up for me, blood. Thank you. So basically, right now, the marital problem that we are dealing with right now, handling marital conflicts, 1964 circle. Wasn't you like 6?
Where's that for? Okay.
8? I was trying to help you.
Why gotta be sick?
Because I took off some years. When you get that old, you need to start subtracting. Ain't no, there's an old thing to go. Yo, and I went to the dollar store the other day, and I couldn't find them, so I left. But when I go back, I'm gonna go get it. They got super hero Lunchables, nigga. The Lunchables is swole like they are.
Maybe I just got a picture.
Keep us on that precious budget.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
suppose
all right,
it was
right.
you.
But just do it, okay? Now, Susie right here and John, right? Susie and John, white names, right? Okay. Now, she want to go to Neiman Marcus and Kay Jewelers. Thank you, lovely work. And he said, bitch, we got kids, we got bills. You around here can't keep a bank account. You go nigga, she can't fuck with a broke nigga. Now, that's what we at right now. Let's prove.
Who shopped in 4 different grocery stores. To say
And over at the Adams house.
You don't realize it, but I shopped in 4 different grocery stores today, just as if a penny here, a penny there, and a dime somewhere else.
I don't know why you spend so much time on the food part of it. I mean, you figure whatever you say there is yours.
Oh, yes! I am very underhanded.
She said, I had to go to 4 stores just to save a dime here and a penny there. And this nigga got her to say, what did he say?
be sharing that shit.
No, he said, hold up.
penny there and a dime somewhere else.
You figure I don't know why you spend so much time on the food part of it? I mean, you figure whatever you say there is yours.
Oh, yes. I am
You got
very
something
underhanded.
to do, please.
Sure, I strip on the groceries just so I can have some money of my own. 2 or 3 whole
Okay,
dollars a
now that we
month.
heard
But you!
we had to put that in context one more time, let's bring it back.
Yeah, this was back when women didn't really work, huh?
Yeah, but nigga, he got nerve to say,
Before
you had to
feminists and shit.
huh?
Before feminists and shit.
Ooh, honey, don't open that can of worms.
Like, like,
I like gummy worms and not real ones.
not
What?
dead ones.
Or should I say rats?
I like rats.
No, I'm not talking about nibbles. I'm talking about 68. Now, the funny part to me about this whole situation is this motherfucker got nerve to say you spend that much time on the food part of it. Like, nigga, you go, oh, like, that's a dumb, dude. Like, dude, the fuck?
And over at the Adams house,
You don't realize it, but I shopped in 4 different grocery stores today just to save a penny here, a penny there, and a dime somewhere else.
You figure I don't know why you spend so much time on the food part of it? I mean, you figure whatever you say there is yours.
Oh, yes. I am very underhanded. Sure, I strip on the grocery.
Hold on. Whatever you say there is yours, okay? So he said literally, the pennies and
That
the
12
dimes
cents you got.
is your money. Ooh. What was them in there swinging? Need them. God damn. I don't care what you are. In the 50s, you needed a penis. Because that's fucked up. That's so asinine. 12 cents? Niggas make more than that in jail. Right?
You know what I want to know? I want to know the story of the first known person to come out as trans.
I was looking for that. And I came across a few statistics, but they really don't know. It's really, you know.
Like, well, not necessarily the first person, but like the first person to publicize it.
Yeah, another video. Back to having a penis.
Like some 12 cents.
The fuck? Yeah, they make 35 cents in jail back then.
Yeah, now we make $1. Sometimes $1.75. For the good shit.
Well, some of them prisoners need niggas is horrible people. Not all of them. But you know, there's some horrible people in there, you know, that did horrible things. Okay. Fuck. Here we go.
Just so I can have some money of my own. 2 or 3 whole dollars a month. But you have a big fat lump right in the butt.
Oh, boy, let's
the Adamses and the Canes are at it again. The gist of their argument so similar that in switching from one house to the other, not a thread is lost. Now, the best way to handle a disagreement is through calm discussion. But as you can see, neither the Adamses nor the Canes are using the best way right now. But in a moment, one of these pairs will begin to handle their conflict constructively, working toward a solution for their differences. The other couple will let the conflict handle them, so that hostility mounts and a solution is farther away than ever. See if you can tell which one of these couples is arguing constructively, which pair is arguing destructively.
My big fat allowance, as you call it, all goes for carfare to get me to work.
All right. That is what burns me up. I mean, there is no place for any leeway. We have ourselves strapped in a straitjacket.
Going overboard for a vacation won't help that.
I don't call it going overboard. Not now, under the circumstances. Just once I want to have the best. You have the best when you buy a new suit.
Oh, boy, back to that. I bought one good suit in my life, and I've worn it for 3 years. That's extravagance. But a trip to Acapulco? Oh, no, that...
Now, wait. See how they flip that over on a woman again? Because how the hell she has to act like a gold digger? Because you want a lavish trip, and when he buy a suit to go to work, that's not equal. That's
Yeah, that's him buying the suit for work.
yeah. You want to go?
You want to go fuck to Hawaii?
Yeah, and what he's saying in the beginning was kind of stupid, but now they gonna flip the tables and make the woman just as stupid.
Makes sense. Now look, you know my suit has nothing to do with it, so let's just forget it.
Okay. But you can't say that a real vacation doesn't make sense. Not when we have the money, and not when it's the only chance we're going to have for years.
Is that what's bothering you? The fact that we're going to be tied down?
Why does he talk
Look,
like
if that's what's eating you, let's talk about that, not about spending every cent in the savings account.
It's not eating me. I'm
You
tickled
the
to
one
death
that's
about
not
the
eating,
baby.
right?
You can't deny that a baby's going to keep you at home. The responsibilities are going to pile up.
Exactly. Think of the hospital bills and furniture and stuff for the baby.
If that was bothering you, how much...
Okay, I'm about to take
I'm gonna
back
go
everything
from
I
that to
said.
the baby.
I'm not like, what the hell? And she dumb as shit. Did you know what she just said? What the fuck? Oh my god.
I'm gonna go from a little extra spending money to the baby.
Not about spending every cent in the savings
It's
account.
not eating me. I'm tickled to death about the baby. But you can't deny that a baby's going to keep you at home. The responsibilities are going to pile up.
Exactly. Think of the hospital bills and furniture and stuff.
She said, I heard about from one sentence. The baby is going to keep you home, but then the bills are going to pile up. Did she not know she was in the 60s? It's her fucking job back then. Like, do that, just shut up. Fuck.
Baby.
It's us now, haggling with doctors to find out who's going to deliver the baby for $2.98 less than somebody else.
You are acting like a ninny. You've already lined up the best obstetrician in town.
That's a good question,
What I'm
but
saying, no, I'm not trying to go on them, but what I'm saying is that if you can't afford to have a baby, why would you have it? Like, if you get pregnant by accident, okay, but why would you try to have a baby if you know you can't afford it? Unless it's your clock is running out. And you need
no,
to
I know, but and let's do some funny shit, but if you got the right partner, none of that shit matter. Cause y'all gonna come up either way, feel me? But that be the point. Everybody's not focused on the same goal. And most times out of many, the dude is focused on pussy instead of trying to have success. But, yeah.
And speaking of him, what does he think of this idea of yours of going on a vacation? Does he think it's all right?
I don't know. I didn't ask. But I'm just a ninny.
I'm sorry, you're not the ninny. I'm the ninny for letting you get me so worked up. Look, I understand how you feel. I'd like to break loose from the crime while we still can. But we're going to need every penny, and we're going to have less because you won't be working anymore.
Aha! You admit. You said you'd like to break loose. You want to get away just as much as I do.
I never said I didn't.
Oh, okay,
I
the
said,
bitch
do
is
we have to
pregnant.
go home
She's
off?
pregnant.
And you
Okay.
jumped up on your high horse.
I beg your pardon. You said a budget is a budget, and I thought that meant the trip was just off.
Well, it's not. Not unless you insist on going to the ends of the earth.
Well, I don't insist on anything. I mean, I am willing to go anywhere I decide.
Ah!
I mean, we decide.
Oh, you gave yourself away.
I did not. Did I? I said we. I did. Well, you know what I mean. Okay. You win. But I know we've got to be reasonable about it.
Well, for Pete's sake, let's argue about what we can do, huh?
Meanwhile, over at the Canes,
I tell you what you can do.
You always do.
You can stop acting like a martyr every time I inject a little common sense into the discussion.
Common sense. You say no without even listening to what I have to say, and you call that common then?
Well, what is there to listen to? You walk into the room and announce, we're going to Mexico. You expect me to just say, yes, darling?
Well, that wouldn't hurt for once. Do you have to make all of the decisions?
Oh, come on, don't be so silly. Talk facts, will you?
You want facts. What about the car? You bought what you wanted, didn't you? Oh, it's all right for me to work for cars and vacations. But I don't have any say.
Not when what you have to say is just plain stupid. Picking out a car because it's blue.
Stupid! So stupid, I'm in charge of my own department.
I thought that'd come out. Your fine job. Well, let me tell you, I'm fed up with hearing about your fine job. When you married me, that it would take time for me to work up in the company. That was all right when you were trying to hook me. Now it's new carpets, new cars, big trips, any excuse for you to keep on working. Because that's what you really want.
How would you know what I really want? At least what I earn gives us some of the nicer things in life.
The nicer things? Well, what are they? More furniture? A new carpet? Have you ever heard of a family? Of children? Or aren't they nice enough?
Well, that's a new one. Especially since it was your idea to wait until you got established until we had a family.
My idea? That's a laugh. My idea was to wait until you grew up a little. A fine mother you'd make. Even your own mother admits you're spoiled.
Leave her out of this.
Why should I? I pay for her rent and her groceries, don't I? Oh, maybe I shouldn't mention that. Maybe that's one of the nicer things in life that I haven't got sense enough to appreciate. Oh, brother, tears. That just solves everything.
With both the Canes and the Adamses, it's clear that there is much more involved here than the disagreement over money with which the quarrels began. This is usually true of most marital conflicts. It's also apparent that the heat of a quarrel has nothing to do with whether it solves anything. The hot-headed Adamses bear this out.
Oh, no. Can't do it. Might be bad for you and the baby. How about here?
Oh, no. That's too close to
God,
Aunt Helen. You know,
sorry.
she ever heard when my crew didn't stop. Besides, getting trapped at a relative's is the last thing. Oh, see, there's the Smiths raved about. What do you think about that?
Say, now,
If you
that's a-
decided that the Adams conflict, for all its heat, was the one which moved through constructive channels, you were right. Their clash cleared the air for a reasonable discussion. But the discord between the Canes, although not so loud, didn't get anywhere, and left both of them feeling worse than ever. What makes a quarrel destructive? Let's back up and note some of the damaging elements of the Canes' quarrel. The most damaging element in any conflict is not knowing the real issue. Are the Canes quarreling about money? Or a vacation? Or the car they bought last summer? Or the family they don't have? Nobody knows, least of all the Canes. Whatever the real issue is, it is repeatedly sidetracked.
Well, that wouldn't hurt for once. Do you have to make all of the decisions?
The Canes not only allow themselves to get sidetracked into dead issues, they also get sidetracked into personalities.
Well, not when what you have to say is just plain stupid. Picking out a car because it's blue.
From attacking personalities, it's only a short step to hitting below the belt.
Stupid! So stupid, I'm in charge of my own department.
And once the hitting gets below the belt, outright hostility, the urge to hurt the other person as badly as you've been hurt, comes to the fore.
My idea was to wait until you grew up a little. A fine mother you'd make. Even your own mother admits you're spoiled.
Leave her out of this.
Why should I? I pay for her rent and her groceries, don't I?
Nowhere in the Canes' argument was there any attempt to understand the other person's viewpoint or to find the real issue. The tension exploded the only way it could for the Canes, in tears and resentment. Over at the Adamses, tension worked itself out to the point where they could laugh at themselves. Why? What did they do to handle the conflict? Let's go back and note the things which helped. First of all, after some preliminary sparring, the Adamses zeroed in on the issue. Should we or should we not take a vacation? It took some effort, but they stuck to the issue as closely as they could while under emotional stress.
Okay.
Now that makes sense. Now look, you know my suit has nothing to do with this, so let's just forget.
Okay. But you can't say a real vacation doesn't make sense. Not
A
when we
dead issue which could have sidetracked them was disposed of by mutual consent, and an effort was made on both sides to try to understand the other person's viewpoint.
Is that what's bothering you? The fact that we're going to be tied down?
To make sure that what the other was saying was understood.
Is what's bothering you? How much it's going to cost? I can see us now handling with doctors.
Sometimes the Adamses lapsed off into personalities, even name-calling, but they never resorted to red things did.
You are acting like a ninny.
And when Adams realized he had fallen into the common practice of name-calling,
I don't know, I didn't ask, but I'm just a ninny.
You're not the ninny. I'm the ninny for letting you get me so worked up.
without a break in the argument, the statement was retracted. An apology was offered. There was no necessity then for retaliation, for hitting below the belt, for hurting someone because you've been hurt yourself. Hostility was kept in check so that when the tension exploded, it could explode harmlessly with both of them laughing at
so they
themselves.
took it left.
I thought that meant the trip was off.
Well, it's not.
Bring you
Not unless you
around
insist
circle.
on going to the ends of the earth.
I don't insist on going anywhere. I mean, I'll go anywhere that I decide. I mean, we decide to go.
Oh, you gave yourself
I did
away.
not.
Even though the Adamses may be childish enough to slam things and yell, they still show a mature willingness to compromise. Mrs. Adams, who started out wanting a trip to Acapulco, was willing to settle for less. And Mr. Adams, who apparently wanted to take no trip at all in the beginning, was willing to consider some kind of vacation after all. The Adamses established a basis for discussion, which is the ideal way of handling conflicts. Neither individual won, just as neither lost the argument. Still, the couple won through compromise. But over at the Kane, great deal seems to be lost. Energy, time, self-respect, understanding. If you are to avoid such unhappiness in your life, it's important to understand why the Kane's quarrel was so damaging. Quarrels of the Kane type damage a relationship because the real issue is never established. They do not stick to the point. They do not understand each other. They hurt each other. They will not compromise. The Adamses have reached a point where they can kiss and make up with no great harm done because the real issue was established. They stuck to the point. They understood each other. They did not hurt each other. They were willing to compromise. When you marry, you will have conflicts with your marriage partner. With two individuals, 2 points of view, it would be impossible not to disagree sometimes, and unrealistic not to learn how to handle marital conflicts. Learning the techniques now is better than learning them later, the hard way. How many of the suggestions for minimizing the damages of family quarrels can you remember? Are there any other suggestions you can add for handling marital conflicts constructively?
Glad they were so informative in the 50s.
Well, actually, yeah.
No, it was being sarcastic.
Oh. You're crazy. But yeah, if you like that episode and you want us to do more like that, please let us know. And it is your favorite Monday to Friday. Charlotte and this person over here is
Friday to Monday crash.
yes, bitch.
I ain't saying that.
Fuck.